The 2004-2005 PSL season was won by Kaiser Chiefs. And this is when they went back to back, And this season, if I had to summarize it in one word, it would be Ntofo-Ntofo. That guy, Mbesuma, he broke out as a player. This season, he dominated, bruh. He won Player of the Season. He won the Leslie Manyatela Golden Boot with 25 goals, which is the record, if I'm not mistaken, post-PSL formation, No player since 1997 has hit 25 goals, as of yet, And he tied Fanny Madida's record of 34 in a season. And he's the only player to win both. Only the third player, actually, to win both, Wilfred McGay and Pauline Ndlanya beforehand, Yeah, man, Ntofo-Ntofo, he was a force of nature, bruh. The perfect combination of speed, strength, and finishing ability, bruh. He just bullied defenders, bruh. Pushed them off, and he had his way, on his way to that 25-goal season. Now, this is not to discredit the team, as they were also excellent, They just had to add complementary pieces to the squad beforehand that won the season last year. Guys like Emile Baron, underrated keeper. He was fantastic, bro. He was a proper keeper. Emile Baron, Spion Konza, Gerrit Skalkwijk, and Somwe Chale from Bloom Celtic. He was okay, I guess, but he was just that backup striker that they needed, just to rotate the guys for fitness levels and such. But Collins, he was the icing on the cake, The team only lost 3 games, which is currently the joint lowest in PSL history. They scored the most goals in that particular season, and they conceded the least. At this point, they were the undisputed best team in the country, even though Pirates did push them come end of season. They were the best team in the season. But things were going to change at that end of season, On the 11th of May, it was announced that Patrice Motsepe had acquired the remaining 49% ownership stake of the Chiklas family and the Kroc brothers, making him the full owner of Mamelodi Sundowns. Now, me personally speaking, I've never been a fan of Sundowns, or the man for that matter, especially with rumors of him preparing for a presidential run come 2027, I mean, you're already president of CAF. You already have a high standing in the country. It just seems like a lot of power for one guy, And Nocha, we've had experience with a businessman running for presidency, and we've seen how that turned out, But I'm going to keep it strictly to football, and I'm going to try my best to be partial and see both positives and negatives this sale brought to SA football. Okay. If I'm going to start with something, let me just start with the negatives so that we can end on a positive note, First things first. When Patrice bought Sundowns and he put money into Sundowns, he effectively priced out the competition. Back then, Sundowns was competing with Chiefs, Pirates for players based on legacy, fame, trophies, media spotlight, and opportunities that joining those teams offer. Now Sundowns can offer the best players the biggest check, leading them to accumulating the best talent in the league. We've seen this especially in recent seasons, and becoming the preferred destination for players over those 2 teams, or any other team for that matter. Leading to a situation, where stockpiling talent, that could start elsewhere. And it also gives like the Sundowns managers insurance policies to cover fatigue, injuries, or loss of form. There's been a point, like I'd say the past, mm, since actually Sundowns, since the mid 2010s going forward, I'd say the Sundowns bench could fight for top eight, top five, and that's how depth like full they are as a team. And as a representation of the game itself, it's not a good look having one team stockpile so much talent that you know the whole supporter thing, majority of supporters join them. What else can I say? Another thing that didn't help with the situation is that because like Sundowns didn't rely on traditional avenues of income. Patrice was giving them the money that they needed. They had an external source of revenue, leading them to never running out of money, or being in a need to sell players. Hence why they could stockpile the best, keep them, and dominate for such a long point. But on a positive perspective, Sundowns have forced teams to come up with ways to keep up, raising the value of those teams and the league as a whole. Sundowns' presence has raised the profile of the league. I mean, you find players from South America and Africa. They rather play here than go into like the lower leagues in Europe. Once again, raising the profile. And Sundown's willingness, to bring players from different countries and coaches with like different coaching ideas and such, has improved the overall quality of the league, I'd say. So it's not getting all doom and gloom. Whatever you may think of the man and the club in particular, it's undeniable to say they've changed the league for forever.